This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. The reality of existential threats faced as a result of climate change may not be felt by those listening, according to Prime Minister Philip Davis, who was giving remarks to the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council roundtable this morning. That was in London, where issues of importance were discussed concerning the Bahamas and other small island developing states. Prime Minister Davis spoke of his concern that there is not enough discussion on implementing practical solutions.
And I'm especially keen to hear from all of you of your ideas and proposals for the role you might play in helping to build resilience in African and green economies. So many of these conversations spring from the fact that the negative impacts of climate change are now a harsh reality, not just for those of us in the global south, but also for other economies as well. Since being elected to office in September 2021, just over a year and a half ago, I've seized many opportunities to advocate for action on behalf of small island developing states. I fear, however, that too much of the conversation is still focused on the causes of climate change and not enough on implementing the practical solution to respond, which we all know are vitally necessary. I also fear that much of the language used in these conversations has lost a lot of their punch and meaning. Many will speak of the existential threats we face, yet I'm not sure that the reality it speaks to is always felt by those listening.
Acknowledging that 40% of the country's national debt, the Bahamas' national debt, is due to damage caused by hurricanes, Prime Minister Philip Davis says the Bahamas is desperate to break the cycle of disaster, repair, and rebuild. The leader of the nation updated those in attendance concerning the development of a blue carbon market, revealing that they are making good progress.
In remarks I made to the General Assembly in September 2021 in New York, in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic, I made the point that surely a key learning that came out of that experience is that none of us are safe until we are all safe. That same applies in relation to climate change and the finance needed to help us survive it. Climate and climate change is no respecter of borders. Carbon emissions harm us all. As I reminded them then, because what happens in one country doesn't stay in that country. And in finding and implementing solutions, please know that the Bahamas is committed to playing an active role as a partner. We are making good progress in developing our blue carbon market. We are also progressing well on understanding exactly how much carbon our seagrasses are absorbing. Findings so far indicate that our seas and seagrasses absorb more carbon faster than the Amazon rainforest.
In making such progress, he implored the need of support by countries and companies, such as those in attendance, to maintain such strides. As islands in the northern Bahamas continue to rebuild post-Hurricane Dorian, the Category 5 storm that devastated Abaco, its Keys, and Grand Bahama, Urban Renewal Northern Bahamas is continuing with its efforts to help support those residents with small home repairs. With May being designated as the Disaster Preparedness Month, Deputy Director of Urban Renewal Northern Bahamas, Senator Kirtland Russell, during a press conference on Monday, said the small home repairs program will continue with teams on the ground as early as this week. He said teams will aggressively address issues while giving priority to seniors and those living in disabilities or with disabilities. Although the program was launched last year, it had to be revised due to the high demand for repairs. Senator Russell says officials are fully aware that many in Grand Bahama and Abaco are still suffering from hurricane damages, but the government is committed to providing the relief that was promised before, specifically for West Grand Bahama to East Grand Bahama, North Abaco to Morris Island. Senator Russell says they are also continuing with responses in Bimini and that teams have been throughout Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini to assess homes. A list of contractors have also been compiled, and craftsmen from aforementioned areas will be selected to conduct the repairs. The senator suggests that those requesting assistance can still apply at their Urban Renewal Commission office on Queens Highway or visit your local urban renewal office. As a result of a strategic focus towards its flagship guaranteed loan program, those efforts by the Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center, or SBDC, looks to bear fruit, with 51 grants being awarded to Bahamians' medium and small-sized businesses. The Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative is a collaboration between the SBDC and the Bahamas Trade Commission, the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, and the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, also a partner. Deputy Chairman of the Bahamas Trade Commission, Vice President Senator Barry Griffin, shared the following thoughts.
Small business funding and lending, two things that sort of collide this morning in a very great way. When we think about the orange economy, we obviously think about the expression of our people being able to express their thoughts and feelings through art. That's very important. But often we do not think about the impact on our economy. The fact that the creative economy and the orange economy can be a true pillar of our national economy if it's supported and nurtured. So I'm very happy that the SPDC, along with the Ministry of Economic Affairs and all of its partners, have brought this program today. So I'm very happy to be here in support of that. The other reason I'm here this morning is because I'm Deputy Chairman of the Bahamas Trade Commission. One of the objectives of the Trade Commission is to work with the orange economy in supporting the nurturing and growth of our creative entrepreneurs so that we can export the Bahamas to the world. We see many examples across the world. For example, Jamaica is very great at exporting their art and their culture. We see Korea is very great at exporting their art and their culture. Korean drama is very big right now. We also see that our neighbor to the north, the United States, is do soft diplomacy through their creative economy. There's no reason why the Bahamas cannot do exactly that. We're a nation of industrious people, creative people, and we see that through expressions on the internet and in person every single day. And so I'm happy that the Small Business Development Center has stepped to fill in that gap in support of our creative entrepreneurs. And so with those few short words, I'm just here to congratulate all of the recipients of the grants today from the Small Business Development Center, and to let you know that the government is here in support of you, and in particular the Trade Commission is here in support of you, in supporting your business as it grows, and ensuring that there are opportunities for you to sell your business, to sell your brand to the world. So thank you very much.
The partnership aims to launch 11 initiatives in 2023, providing $5,000 in grant funding to assist small and medium-sized businesses, cover the cost of intellectual property protection, production equipment, contract manufacturing, raw materials, brand collaterals, and other marketing campaigns. 34 of the grant recipients are here in the capital, while the remainder are from the Family Islands, including Abaco, Andros, Eleuthera, and Grand Bahama. Grant recipients Aidan Burrows of House of Assembly and Kendrick Delaney, owner of New Duff, shared their experience with the program.
Creativity is entrepreneurship in many different forms. Fashion designers, culinary artists, film producers, hairstylists, interior decorators, dance performers, architects, musicians, sculptors, the list goes on and on. The issue is creatives downplay entrepreneurship as a hustle or a hobby without realizing the true value of intellectual property. Few of us think about intellectual property registration, capacity building, and exporting to countries around the world.
We launched in about 2016 with just like an espadrille line, so very printed, like colorful footwear and sandals, and then eventually by 2019 we kind of pivoted to handbags. I don't know if I ever actually decided to become a fashion designer, but growing up I had a grandmother that plaited a lot of straw, and she lived in Exuma as well. So every summer I kind of help her do that in terms of planting straw and then selling to vendors in the straw market. In regards to the Creative Entrepreneurship Initiative, I really like the fact that creatives in the Bahamas and in the Caribbean are being given this opportunity to kind of learn more about the intellectual property rights and kind of like the ownership that goes behind it, because I think as a lot of entrepreneurs, we don't have that background in branding and legal and training and copyright infringement.
The partnership between public and private entities brought together to provide these opportunities to small and medium-sized businesses looks as though it will pay a huge dividends to the Bahamian economy. And finally, the country's National Health Care Service bid farewell to a stalwart and veteran nursing officer, Sister Ruth Bastian. National Immunization Coordinator, Nurse Gina Rose, explained what Sister Bastian's retirement means to the public healthcare system.
She has been the national coordinator for the Bahamas for more than 10 years, working very hard in the trenches, and a lot of changes positively have happened under her purview, and we're grateful for the hard work and the dedication, the sacrifice that she has put into the program over the past few years. So it's an encouragement that your hard work does not go unnoticed, and so it pays off to put your best foot forward in everything you do, Miss Bastian. When I think about her leaving, it's, a mixed kind of feeling in that, we're losing a very good worker and an excellent nurse manager, someone with a wealth of experience and knowledge. But at the same time, we know that, there's other things in life. It's time to enjoy, and take a break from the everyday busyness of work life. And so this just helps us know that retirement is something to work towards, and that if you work hard enough, your efforts will pay off and they will be recognized.
Named National EPI Coordinator in 2009, Sister Bastian was instrumental in the fight against the vaccine preventable diseases on both the national and international levels, as she spearheaded improved adult vaccinations in communities and on working sites. She was also the first person in the Bahamas to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis spoke warmly about Sister Bastian.
We had worked together at maternity. She was always a very focused lady who demonstrated true leadership, and she cared a lot about her patients. And at the same time, because of her knowledge, a lot of instances, even as a doctor, you come back from school, you have a theoretical knowledge. Bastian was one of those who had a wealth of practical knowledge. And in many instances, she would guide you as to what management, treatment, which course of action you should take. And once you operated on a patient, and Bastian called you in the middle of the night, she said, this patient has this problem or the next, you know that she's on point. And by the time you get there, she would have already started the management for it. And so it's just a matter of listening to the nursing personnel. Once you have an experienced nurse, you can learn a lot from them. Bastian was that type of person. After she left Princess Margaret Hospital, she went into public health, and she was responsible for the vaccine, ensuring that we had sufficient vaccine, proper storage facility, etc. She was instrumental in COVID vaccines. She was also instrumental in ensuring that we had HPV vaccines so that we could deal with preventing women from developing cancer of the cervix. So she's basically a trailblazer who had assisted us greatly, both with reducing the cancers within female population, cervical cancers, and at the same time managing and aggressively pursuing and maintaining the potency in the storage facility for our COVID vaccines.
Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Michael Dowell spoke to Nurse Bastian's dedication towards her job and nursing in general.
But I saw it fit to be here this afternoon to celebrate with such a wonderful person and someone who contributed tremendously to healthcare services throughout the Bahamas. Nurse Bastian has been a pillar in the nursing profession and has been instrumental in the training of thousands of different nurses who have come through our remit. She is an excellent healthcare worker. She has the right disposition, and it's going to be a gap that I don't think we'll be able to fulfill in the healthcare system for years to come. She's contributed tremendously with CARFA, the Pan American Health Organization, and our immunization program. that has brought it from its infancy stage to where it was a few years ago prior to COVID-19 and Hurricane Dorian. I'm so proud of Nurse Ruth Bastian, and it's always sad when someone has reached the end of their retirement age in the public service. But you know, she has been a tremendous mentor to many of us in the healthcare services. I remember her in the system when I was an intern, and all the things that she has done to shape a lot of the doctors and physicians that are here today. And as you can see, we have a wide cross-section of healthcare professionals here, including the former Prime Minister, where Ruth has worked along with him as well. And these are one of those bipartisan type of situations where all of us must come together to really celebrate some of these great healthcare workers that are in the country.
Sister Bastian began her nursing training in 1975 after being inspired by her sister, who was also a registered nurse. She has been involved with the Bahamas' plan of elimination of measles and rubella, as well as introducing vaccines for chickenpox, pneumonia, influenza, and hepatitis A into the country. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thanks for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.